Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on College Football UK. This is an extra special bonus episode this week. I'll be the host. Fletcher's busy today, so I'm lucky enough to be joined by our newly minted member of the hosting party, Adam. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks, Gary.
Good, good.
Beautiful morning here, sun's out, and I'm looking forward to what's coming in front of us with this chat.
Absolutely. And however, if you are watching on YouTube, you will notice most importantly, we are joined by the head coach of the NFL Academy, Coach Steve Hagen. Thanks so much for joining us, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time. Just tell us about yourself, Coach, and how did you end up at the academy? I mean, we've looked at your Wikipedia. You've certainly got some experience to bring to the team.
A little bit. I've been coaching for about 42 years or so. All of it in America. Not all of it. I coached in Italy
Mm.
for a
Last
season,
couple of years,
which
saw
was,
you both.
which
Yeah.
was kind of fun. Just grew up. I grew up as a ball boy for the Dallas Cowboys, so football's kind of been in my DNA from
Mm.
birth almost. And when I got out of college, I had a tryout in the USFL, the original USFL, hurt my knee, and then the Cowboys hired me back in Dallas. And make a long story short, that pretty much started my coaching career because I was doing a
Mm.
job in Dallas where I was more interested in the coaching part and not the logistics and ops part of it. But at that time, they didn't have like quality control young guys like I was at that time.
Mm.
So that's when I got into being a graduate assistant at the University of Illinois with Mike White. And I was in 1983.
The fact it starts with 19 some of
Yeah.
our listeners would be like, oh, what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a minute ago. And then I just worked my way through the ranks, and
Mm.
I was blessed because I got to coach with some phenomenal coaches as I was growing up. And I got to coach with Lou Holtz at Notre Dame when we were
Wow.
running at national championships. And I learned so much from Coach Holtz. It's a huge blessing to this day. It's still a blessing.
Yeah. Wow. And sad news
Um,
that he passed recently as well. Obviously, that must have been,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a loss to the
But
whole
he's had
college
such
football.
an impact. I mean, it's such a blessing. It is sad that he passed, but it was such a blessing of how much, not only coaching that we all gained from him, but just how to be a man and how to be
Mm.
accountable, that kind of stuff. So phenomenal. And
Int-
then I just had great opportunities. I worked with Chris Alt, who was in the Coaches Hall of Fame or the College Football Hall of Fame out at the University of Nevada. Phenomenal coach. Did more with less, and that's no knock to those players or any
mm.
coaches that were there. It's just the funding that he um, didn't have at the
Yeah.
University
It's
of Nevada compared to being at a Tennessee
Alabama,
or an
Georgia,
Alabama or
Tennessee. Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
He did more with less and just did a great job. Learned a ton from him on leading, how to be a leader, all that.
Mm.
Um, and then obviously I got to have an opportunity to coach with Butch Davis in the NFL at the Browns. That was my start in the NFL, and at the Browns, great organization, and then off to the New York Jets with Rex Ryan and Todd Bowles there, and just had so many great leaders that I've got to learn from and be around,
Mm.
and then become a leader myself. And each spot you are a leader within the group anyway. So.
Absolutely.
Leadership is it's keen, you got to be able to do it.
And I guess as you say some of those names, you learn little pieces. You take every step you take, you bring something forward from, this guy was really good at man management, this done this,
Yeah.
coaching, and it must have been, it must be amazing to have those names and that history and experience that you can then bring from these sort of professional and coaching levels back to our guys in the NFL Academy.
Yeah.
It must be
So
pretty
how I
amazing for
got
them.
here through my experiences was I was working with the International Player Pathway Program through the NFL.
Mm.
And I'd met some young guys there that knew of this job. I had no idea this. I didn't even know the academy was an academy. I didn't even know it existed. And
Yeah.
I was in between jobs and they said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this?" And I was like, maybe. Define it
You
for me.
can't say no,
Yeah.
right? You gotta
Tell
like,
me
well,
what
maybe.
tell me what it's all about. And once they had explained it, I thought, yeah, let's do that. And so
Mm.
we're going into our fourth season here, which is really fun. We've grown it up, taken it to where we're playing American teams, which we need to do. So we get that respect. We put 49 players into American college football in the last 3 years since I've been here. Um, so it's been a
Wow,
blast. It's been super fun.
that's
And
amazing.
Reese, what
Those
I've done,
numbers.
I was very intentional when I came over here. I'm going to build an American, uh, essentially what I know as an American college football program because I have to recruit players in. I also have to get them recruited out and
Mm,
get them moving on to where, because we are a high school. We're 16 to 18-year-old boarding school that focuses on football growth. And so I say, come, grow, and go. So we come here, they grow here in football and education. We get them academically right. So when the NCAA qualifications come out and the coaches in America are looking at them, they're like all qualified up with all their core classes and everything, and they can go straight into America and play football.
And that recruiting must be slightly different to what you were used to with the high school to college, because I guess you're looking for it's more sporting prowess as opposed to any American football experience, isn't it? It's just
It's a lot different. It's way different. Some of my guys have never played football at all. Some of them have only played for 5-on-5 or 9-on-9 or something like that. Um, they come from countries they don't speak English. They have to speak English to get a student visa to come in here. But um, we coach this thing in English. We coach it in American English, American football language. So when they get there, they understand what the coaches are saying. Because, like I tell my boys all the time, hey, don't think Tennessee is going to hire a French translator just because you're from France and you can run around. They're
yeah,
not doing that. You better learn this language and you better be fluent in this language. Our first language here is football, then it's English, and then it's whatever their normal native language is,
that's great.
German, Finnish, Norwegian, Japanese. We have 21, I think it is now, 21 different countries have been represented through this NFL Academy. Very unique,
I
very
heard you say
challenging.
Yeah. I heard you say somewhere else in another interview that you're in the business of providing clarity every day, so that clarity is key. And I guess with all of those different nationalities, that becomes very important because you need that core message coming across.
No doubt. We have our core messaging and it's all in English. And I say clarity is kind and they need to get that message. And I don't lower the standard because they don't understand it. I just keep making it clearer and clearer and clearer. And I've sat kids down and I've said, hey, tell him in German that this is how we do this. And
Mm.
he needs to learn English better or he will not succeed. Not necessarily here at the academy,
But the
but
next
going
step on,
further.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. As
going
you say, because
further.
that football parlance, if you're not around it, you don't understand some of the nuances. You're going to get lost in a team meeting or a huddle on a practice field, and the coach shouts something. If you're having to process and think, and it's gone, you've missed your window, right?
Yeah, and we coach fast, which is how they need to hear it fast, listen to it fast, speak it fast, play it fast. Everything we do here is fast. I get them up to speed when they're coming in, and we'll have multiple Zoom meetings like we're on Zoom here. We'll have multiple Zoom meetings prior to them ever even getting here in July, just so they hear my voice, they hear our coaches' voices. And we'll have our meetings, where we start to install our offense and our defense and our special teams, all our systems we start to install. We install that culture. So then when they arrive, they have seen each other on Zoom. They don't know each other, but we got kids coming in from Mexico, Canada, Japan, Australia, all over the world that are coming in. And that's the beauty of Zoom for now,
Mhm.
that we can connect all at the same time.
And give
Mm.
them that foundation level, I guess, right? So that when they hit the ground, they're all at the same part, and then you build on that. Amazing.
Mhm, mhm.
Do you think like learning from coaching in college that that sort of transitional, you only get the kids in college for those short period of time, that it's helped you in the NFL academy because it's even shorter now. You've only got 2 years with them rather than 3 or 4 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 15, however the eligibility is turning out in college now. But normally it's been 3 4 years the kids are out. How have you used that to your advantage at the academy?
Well, I don't have my clock up on the wall right now because we just moved from
Yeah,
an
new
office
office.
to a new office. but my clock says now, 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 now. It doesn't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It says now, 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 now. And I learned this from Coach Holtz a long time ago. What's important now is an acronym for WIN, W-I-N. And that's how we roll here. What's important now? And we know what's important now. When we recruit these kids, we start teaching them what they need to know on a daily basis. So when they get here, they know what's important. And then we just start practicing. We're into two-a-days and they just get,
Wow.
they get drilled. And we start lifting weights like they've never lifted. We start running like they've never ran before. They start getting immersed in football more than they've ever been immersed in football. And we need to because we're playing catch up.
Mm.
And that's what's so phenomenal about this academy because we are football centric.
Mm.
And what's interesting to me is you've obviously got a lot of raw materials coming in and a semi-finished product on the way out. How does that journey look, taking someone that's maybe never played the game fully before and having a positional player at the end of it, so a tight end, a running back, or whatever else? Because that must be quite a journey to do in a short space of
Oh,
time.
it's quite the journey. I'll just give you an idea. Luca Wolf, who just signed with Tennessee in January, just a couple months ago. Luca came in, never played football before, and we got him from Austria. He had played basketball. Big, good-looking athlete. Love Luca. He was on this journey of football. Football's a way different sport. If you haven't played American football, it's a completely different sport, unique in its own right. You put a helmet on, and sometimes you end up hitting guys face to face, which that doesn't happen. It happens sometimes in rugby, but not as much as it does,
Yeah.
in football because you're just padded up differently. So you throw yourself around differently. Well, you got to get kids calloused up to do that. Not everybody loves that. So we start,
Takes a special time. Takes a
yeah,
special
yeah. We
mindset, doesn't
start
it?
with
Yeah.
our training and we know how to do it. We're all professionals, and so we know how to do it. We're in very close confined quarters when we start hitting, and then we start to back them up and start to back them up, and then we cut them loose. And that takes time. And not everybody, like I just said, not everybody enjoys that. Some guys get better at hitting, some guys get better at making guys miss. So
Some
they
guys
don't
get
want to
better
get
at
hit.
being hit as well, right?
Yeah, they don't want to get hit.
Yeah.
So that's where football really separates a whole lot of guys that think they want to play and love this game. And this game brings the true lion out in a young man. That's what I think. And I always talk about that. I want that lion to come out in you and see who you are, you know.
Mm.
And you'll see it real quick. Within 2 weeks, we're going to find out who likes this and who doesn't like it. And I honestly, I don't ever beg anybody to stay. I don't beg them to play. And so Luca came in and he wasn't so sure he liked it. I just said, "Hey, just keep doing it one day at a time, one day at a time." And great things happened for him. He went from never playing football to getting a scholarship at Tennessee, and Tennessee is raving about him right now. They're like, he's one of the better players that we've ever recruited for since Coach Heupel was there. So,
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that's my next question is kind of the goals of the NFL Academy. And you've just mentioned one of your recent graduates. What are the sort of, what is, it's making these guys and making these boys into men and ready for the NCAA, right? That's the ultimate goal of the academy.
yeah. The ultimate goal is to get them in the NFL. Now, I can only get them to the NCAA. Then they got to do the polishing up to get to the next level. But and that's why the NFL has put this together here because they want to grow the sport internationally. And but all that being said, from when we get them to the NFL, that's super hard. Whether you're in this school or a high school in America, that's just a really, really challenging thing.
Yeah, we've talked about
It
that
can be
pyramid
done
before.
because Seydu just did it.
Sadu just did it, right? I mean, this was
Exactly.
we were going to mention him. And obviously, I think he was obviously pre your time and pre the academy time, so we
Yep.
just missed him. But your hope, I'm guessing, is that your recent graduates now they're going to follow in that footsteps. That's got to be amazing for the academy and the guys coming in to kind of be able to kind of put that on the wall and go, you can be the next Sadu if you like. You could.
No
It's
doubt.
possible that the pathway is now there, and it's. I suppose the ceiling's been broken in a way that teams in the NFL now are aware, teams in the NCAA are aware that the academy is here. These players actually can play. They're they're not a token. They're not one of those NFL tells us to put this guy on the roster and he's IPP and it sells a few shirts and sells a few jerseys across, different countries. I think it's becoming more real to players, to coaches, to teams that these guys know how to play football.
No doubt. The NFL Academy has gained a reputation of, well, we got legitimate ballers here because now we've sent kids to Northwestern, Oklahoma, Colorado, Cal, Tennessee, Boston College. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And that's just in the 4 year or 3 years that I've been here. So, Peter Clark, who's at Temple now, that'll be another opportunity for another academy player to get drafted in the NFL if all goes like we'd like it for it to go. But this is a place like I tell everybody here, even when I'm recruiting them, you come here, you grow here, and it's going to give you an opportunity to go somewhere. Come, grow, go. And that's it. And that's what I want these kids. We have high standards here. We have, I've had to let some kids go out of this academy just because it just wasn't going to fit them. They just weren't doing what we were going to do. We're not going to lower the standard because the wrong guy showed up. But also,
I mean, I'm guessing on that front that, it's helping them, those players specifically, because even if you're a little lax, the NCAA wouldn't be. They've got standards that you would have to hit.
No, it helps everybody. It helps, and this isn't for everybody. It's like any sport. It's not for everybody. I wouldn't want to be a swimmer. I don't want to wake up every morning at 4:30 in the morning and jump in a pool. I don't want to do that. That's not for me. This sport's not for everybody either. But those who stay will be champions, like they say at Michigan, for 1,000 years. And if you come here and grow here, you'll have an opportunity to go somewhere. And whether that's to college football in America or you go be a lawyer back in London, you're just going to be a better man because you're going to be an academy man and you've been held to a different standard than just a normal kid going to high school.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a great opportunity for those youngsters in Europe and certainly in the UK and Ireland. And I think it helps everything what's happening with the sport here in terms of gaining more traction, certainly on the college side.
Yeah, it's super fun. We're getting to a point where there's more games coming over here, more NFL games, and now college games are coming over here. So it's just starting to grow. To me, it's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
But to me, it's at a different level of optics now. Just the marketing is different because of the internet, because of Instagram, because of X. All that has helped it grow. And then when you actually get those live games over here with the NFL teams coming over here throughout Europe, now all throughout the world, essentially.
Yeah. And that expansion is crazy.
And then the college game, which is a completely different game, comes over. It's just another level of excitement.
Yeah,
and
just being able to touch it and see it live, right? Yeah,
no doubt. When you see it live, it's just fast and physical, and it's just fun to see. Like I tell my boys, you got to be smart, fast, physical, fundamental football player that does whatever it takes to win and leave no doubt. Our guys have that memorized, and if you can become a smart, fast, physical, fundamental football player that does whatever it takes to win and leave no doubt, you got a chance to go get yourself a scholarship.
Yeah. I mean, have you found that, because I know in the recent years, the academy has managed to play as part of the international games, and at Tottenham, I mean, you've had a few games there against some of the high schools and some of the guys in the American come over. Has that really helped your sort of development of players and development of the academy to measure against some of these better sort of high school teams and colleges so you can get a better understanding of where you are? Has that really brought you on a bit?
Absolutely. Our target market is college football coaches. So all our Instagrams and all our X's and all our social media is targeted at college football coaches. So if we're going to play, we need to play American football teams. And we're a Nike top 40 team. So we're going to play some of those teams. And when you play those teams, like St. Thomas Aquinas or De La Salle or somebody like that.
Those small teams. Those small teams.
Those small teams. St. Thomas Aquinas, I think they were ranked sixth in the nation when we played them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we lost to them by 3. They're a really well-coached football team. They're a really well-recruited football team, well-disciplined. They're just a really, really good football team. De La Salle, same thing. We played IMG National. We're going to play IMG National again. We've got to have the mentality where we're going to play anybody, anywhere, anytime, and it just lifts our whole brand up.
Mhm. You just mentioned briefly there, Coach. I know we don't want to hold you too much on it, but the growth of the game in the UK. We've got the Union Jack Classic coming to Wembley, showing live college football, which is, as you've mentioned, completely different to the NFL. The kind of the rivalry, the marching bands, how college is such an integral part of life in the unit in the US. It's very similar, and we've talked about it on our podcast. It's as close as you're going to get to like the soccer rivalry that you see in the UK, right? The college rivalries and stuff. How do you feel that Union Jack Classic and also the one in Ireland, the Aer Lingus Classic, which has been going now for 10, 11 years and has really grown the game in Ireland and across the UK? How do you
Yeah.
feel, you know, those things can help you, the academy? Does it help your players to see those games live? Does it help to grow the game more, to make the academy more a viable option for some people?
It helps everything
Mm.
because our kids get to see that at that level. That is the highest level of college football. When you get Kansas playing Arizona State or any SEC team, any
Yeah,
level of that. And the challenge for us is here in Europe is seeing American football on TV because it happens so, late.
time zones are
And we
fun.
don't
Yeah,
get that many games unless you can go uh, tap into ESPN Plus and figure it out how to get it on your device. But when you can see it live and our guys can get down there, meet their coaches, and just be around it, the more you're around it, it can be challenging to find a football like just you know
yeah.
one of these in a
Yeah.
store, in a sporting
Yeah.
goods store here. You can't
Well,
find
a
them.
proper one you can buy silly ones, but you can't buy proper ones, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so that's another part of the challenge over here. And so everything, anything, all things that have to do with football, like this podcast and any kind of marketing, any kind of exposure is going to help the NFL Academy grow because there's other kids that still haven't heard of it, still
Mm,
don't really know what this is all about.
yeah.
They know what rugby's about, but rugby's a different sport than this. And you know, so we've taken rugby players and turned them into really good football players. We've taken basketball players and turned them into great football players. One of our guys just now, a young guy, only played basketball. He's already got like 5 offers this spring to play
Wow.
American football at places like Auburn and Florida State and different big schools like that. So we get them here and we train them up because we do this every day.
Mm,
And it becomes kind of an addiction for them. They love it, because it's so new, so fresh, and it's physical. And
mm,
I think young men like the physicality of it. If you ask all my players, what do you like about football? They love the mental part of it because it's so challenging. It's a chess match all the time, but they love the physicality of pushing each other around and hitting each other and being able to fly and tackle each other. And they
yeah.
love that physicality part of it. And I think that's what the fans love about it too.
Yeah, I'm not jealous of them at all. And the academy came along 35 years too late for me. I used to play. I used to play at the Olympians and all those sorts of things. So I've played around. I've been around, and the academy wasn't there. And when it did arrive, it was like, oh, 30 years too late. Oh, if only, kind of thing. So it's amazing to see how growth it's gone. You mentioned, how does the academy do well in kind of keeping up with their alumni? As I know, once they travel off into the NCAA, how do you keep track of that? So do you is there a kind of an opportunity to kind of get those guys back on Zoom to kind of
A
go, hey
homecoming.
guys, yeah, almost like a homecoming or almost like a hey, I was where you were, look at me now type thing for the new recruits. Is that something
Yeah,
that you
we
look
do
to do?
that. We do that. We have them. We'll get them on Zoom, and they talk to the new guys coming in. They're busy too, with
Yeah,
their
yeah.
with their teams. But I love our alumni. They're all over America. They're all over the world, really, because we still have alumni that are not playing football in America, but they may go back to Japan and play football, and
Mm,
they're a way better player after having gone through the academy and go back to Japan, and then they're dominant in Japan playing or wherever, whatever country they go to. We have guys that are playing in the ELF, the European
I was going to say that new league is going to be great
yeah,
for you guys as
yeah,
well,
we
right?
have guys playing in that. So yeah, we love having our alumni pop back up on Zooms and we have them talk to the kids. I introduce them because our young kids don't know
Mm,
because we're 2 year, 2 year, 2 year, 2 year. Not some of those kids that were there 3 years ago, they don't know those kids. So like they know of them, but they don't know them. So like
mm,
Pape, who is from Senegal, will be the starting left tackle at Boston College if all things go well for him, which they have this spring. And he is deeply connected to the NFL Academy and loves talking to our guys. We went to Boston College on summer camp tour, which is coming up right now here in the beginning of June for us. And Popeye came and joined us. And,
oh, wow.
he came to
Get
Chick-fil-A.
him out to go back over there.
Yeah, he
Nice.
came to Chick-fil-A with us, and that monster walked in, and all the guys were like, "Oh, wow!" And but he's just another living example. The other blessing, honestly, that we truly have is the NFL players are starting to figure out who we are too, and we get to have them come coach with us. And so we had Peanut Tillman from the Chicago Bears. He came and coached with us all training camp last year, and he's had a deep connection with our team ever since. And so we're continuing to do that. When this fall coming up, we're going to be at the college, or not the college, the NFL Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and we're going to be there for about 2 weeks or about a week, 10 days, something like that. So we fly in, we play a game, and then we'll be at the Hall of Fame practicing and working out for that week. And then we play another game at the end of that week, and then we
Is
fly.
that around the Hall of Fame game as well? Will the
It'll
NFL
be
teams?
yeah, just right around it, not during it, because they're that they got that place.
Yes, they got that whole thing locked down, but
But
it'd
yeah,
be
what a
amazing.
blessing that is for
Wow.
us because now a lot of former football NFL players can come back and they don't have to fly way over to England. They can just be there with us right there in Ohio and coach with us. And it's just so good for our boys and it's good for everything. It's good for
That's amazing.
the
That's
growth of our
what an
boys
experience and an
and
opportunity. Wow.
yeah, and it gives those young players who are alumni of the NFL an opportunity to start coaching too.
Yeah,
So they can come
could be
back.
their first little touch, right? Their first.
Hmm.
And just on that, sorry, I saw something recently. I know Neil Reynolds posted. Obviously, George has kind of moved into coaching on the NFL Academy side, and he's getting a lot of hype. Is there kind of a progression in terms of coaching as well, not just players, but from a coaching perspective from the academy into college as well?
Yeah, we want it, everything, come, grow, and go, coaches included. So Georgia's had an opportunity to work with the Baltimore Ravens this past summer. We've had coach work with Tampa Bay, and I got another one going out to Tampa Bay this summer. So there's lots of opportunities when you come to this academy for growth as a coach, as everything. Because once you're connected to this network of the NFL, it just opens up a whole bunch of opportunities for you.
Amazing. Adam, you want to hit that last question?
Well, so we've covered a lot of ground, and thanks for your time, Coach. I mean, just in terms of any young guys interested in the sport, but perhaps haven't taken it up, haven't done anything yet, what would be a kind of final message for anyone listening or watching?
Well, we are an open book, really. We'd love to interview them. They can reach out to me at the NFL Academy, and like I said, we don't care if you've played football. We just care if you're committed, and we just want to know what you can do and how committed you are to this sport. And we've taken guys that haven't ever played it down of football, and they're playing in America. We've had guys that have played, 6 years, and they're playing in America. So it's just an opportunity to grow this sport, grow young men, more importantly, and launch them towards their dreams. And that's what this is about. So very
It's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Coach, this has been awe inspiring for me. It's kind of giving me goosebumps just talking about you, about how passionate you are about the game, how passionate you are about teaching these young guys to be the men that they can be. I'd just like to say really appreciate you did 30 minutes of your busy time. Adam, I don't know if you've got anything to add. I'm still a bit like
Yeah, no,
jittery about
likewise.
it.
Just yeah, Coach. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Go
Appreciate it.
NFL Academy. Let's go.
Yeah, go NFL Academy. We'll put links down in below this when we drop this podcast about how you can get in contact with the NFL Academy, where you can find some of the guys, coach, and we'll, if you've got X and stuff like that, send them over, Aussie, and we'll kind of make sure we get all of the right links on our podcast. But again, coach, really appreciate your time. Good luck with the summer and the coaching and stuff like that, and hopefully see you in October at Tottenham Hotspur.
You're always welcome. Come up to practice. Watch us practice.
Well, I might just take
You
you
have
up
an
on
open
that.
invitation. Always just let us know. Come on up and you can interview guys and talk to guys, talk to the coaches and
Oh,
whatever's going to
really?
help you
Wow,
grow.
that's amazing. That is amazing. I appreciate that, coach. We'll definitely hit you up on that one.
Cool. All right. Make it a
Thanks very
good
much.
day. We'll
Cheers,
talk to you
guys.
Take
later.
care.
Take
Thanks,
care.
Ozzy.
Sorry
Thanks,
about
coach.
that.
Take
Cheers.
care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, Chris. How's it going?